Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday morning, October the 16th. Quite a chilly air mass exists this morning across the eastern half of the nation. Many stations are experiencing near record, even record low temperatures this morning. A lot of that is taking place right across the Mississippi Valley region. All these areas where you see these circles represent areas that are within a few degrees of a record low or actually at or breaking the record low temperature for this morning. I expect tomorrow morning a lot of this may shift to the east as probably the coldest temperatures of the week will take place later tonight, early Thursday morning in the eastern states. So again, pretty impressive outbreak of chilly air for this time of the year. Here we are now into the middle of October, and this will continue for another couple of days. And again, early tomorrow morning, there may be even more of these circles showing up here, these near record lows in the eastern U.S. Well, let's take a look at last night's zero-Z run of the GFS. This is the conventional GFS model run from last night. Before we get into the temperature anomalies and the surface weather maps, wanted to take a look at the next 10 days in terms of total snowfall amounts. Here we are now just past the midpoint of October, and we'll be focusing in on snow threats from here on out right through the winter season, the upcoming winter season. And again, this is for the next 10 days, and quite impressive indeed across those higher elevations of the western U.S. all the way into southwestern Canada. Look at this, even a forecast of over 40 inches of snow over the next 10 days in southwestern part of Canada. But you can see a lot of the Rocky Mountain states and also the Sierra Nevada mountain range here in eastern California to get significant accumulating snow over the next 10 days. Even a little bit here in the interior northeast, and there's a threat for accumulating snow later on in the month of October, right around the Halloween time period, give or take a few days. That's beyond this 10-day forecast. This goes out to October 26th. Another few days or so, another 5 or 6 days or so, and there may be additional chances for snow in the interior northeastern U.S. So we're getting closer and closer to the upcoming winter season. Well, let's walk through the 850 millibar temperature anomalies, and again, a widespread, very chilly air mass for the middle of October this morning from the central and southern plains all the way to New England and all the way south and east to the northern part of Florida. Many locations experiencing near or even record low temperatures this morning, and that will be the case again tomorrow morning, especially across the eastern third of the nation. Today it's mostly focused out across the Mississippi Valley with respect to low temperature records. Tomorrow I think it'll be more of a threat right along the eastern seaboard here in this area right here. So we do have other cold air outbreaks destined to drop into the central and eastern states as we progress through the month of October, and even especially so around Halloween time towards the end of the month here. So let's move forward here. This again continues to cause some below normal temperatures into the day on Thursday and even into early Friday right here down across the southern U.S. It'll still remain colder than normal, and another chilly air mass moving into the west by the end of the work week, and you have to go up all the way to the northern plains, southern part of Canada for some above normal temperatures. Now let's quickly push ahead through next week and then towards the end of October. Here we are by the latter part of the upcoming weekend, and this is impressive on its own in terms of above normal temperatures. Let's say Sunday, Monday time frame from the northern plains all the way to New England. You're looking at temperatures, high temperatures, well up in the 70s in many of the big cities along the I-95 corridor region. For example, on Sunday and Monday, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, well up in the 70s, following the chill of today and the last couple of days and the next couple of days. Now, let's move forward here into the middle part of next week. This is a week from right now. Next Wednesday, we see another colder than normal air mass dropping from the southern part of Canada into the Great Lakes region. That heads to the northeastern states. Meanwhile, it turns above normal across the heartland, the central part of the states, And cold, again, colder than normal out across the western U.S. This is now all the way out to the end of next week. And let's go a little farther in time just to get to the end of the month, the Halloween time period. Here we are on the 28th. And finally, the 29th of October right here, and a pretty widespread, impressive chilly air mass across much of the northeastern states. And this is an interesting pattern that's shaping up potentially for the last few days of the month of October for the northeastern states. Not only the potential of well below normal temperatures, but even possibility of some accumulating snow in those higher elevations of the northeastern states. Again, we're looking way ahead here towards the end of the month of October. Well, let's now take a look at the surface forecast maps from the zero-Z run of the GFS. First of all, on the backside of high pressure, winds flow clockwise around high pressures. You have this broad fetch of air out of the southwest to the northeast, hence above normal temperatures out across the northern plains into the eastern part of the Rocky Mountain states. That will change drastically over the weekend, the above normal temperatures over the Rocky Mountain states. But meanwhile, in the east, you still have that northwesterly flow of air, and these blue dashed lines here, these thickness values, represent some chilly air. And again, lots of spots this morning at or even below the low temperatures, and the record low temperatures for this particular date. So chilly air mass across the eastern states, but warming up today across the central plains to high plains. Now let's clear the page here and move forward here in time with these surface maps. And high pressure in control. There's a strong storm system, but it stays off the eastern seaboard out over the western Atlantic. Maybe a little bit of an impact along the North Carolina coastline, for example, overnight tonight into tomorrow. But for the most part, that stays off the coast. And here again is that fetch of air out of the southwest, blowing some very mild air, above normal air, from the southwestern states all the way through the high plains and into the southern part of Canada. But here comes that cold shot into the western U.S. with some accumulating snow. This is a forecast map for about 48 hours from now, early Friday morning. Now let's move forward in time here. And again, you have this accumulating snow in those higher elevations across the Rocky Mountain states, Utah, into Colorado eventually, Wyoming, Idaho, over the next several days. And here we go into the upcoming weekend. And again, blue showing up here pretty regularly, and that's what we saw a moment ago with that 10-day snowfall forecast map. A lot of snow in those higher elevations out across the western states. If you're a skier, you like to go out west, it all begins over the next 5 or 10 days or so in terms of snow accumulation. And here we go into the upcoming weekend. We talked about it becoming warmer, certainly by Sunday and Monday, high pressure in control. And you're talking about getting back up into the 70s again. Here we are on Sunday morning, high pressure in control in the Mid-Atlantic. Look for high temperatures back up in the 70s. Sunday, Monday, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Meanwhile, across Colorado Rockies, some snowfall. And again, some accumulating snow, some of those highest elevations. We'll go out another few days here into Tuesday, and then finally into next Wednesday, midweek. Pretty dry look by the middle of next week. This is 1 week from today. Another cold shot looking to drop south and east into the Great Lakes and Northeast U.S. Later next week. And we saw a couple of slides earlier on that even beyond this time period, the threat for colder than normal air moving back into the northeastern states during those last few days of the month of October, maybe even associated with some snowfall. This is way out there. We're looking a couple weeks ahead here towards the end of October in the northeastern states. Let's say those higher elevations from Pennsylvania all the way to northern New England. So we're gradually headed towards the winter season of 2024-2025 with some decent snowfall expected at across much of the interior, higher elevation locations of the western states over the next 10 days. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.